Yo, what's up guys? My name is Kari Essay and I'm back with another sample. And for this sample I started with strings, a harp from Sonatina, as well as another string, and all three together sound like this. And the reason why they rise in volume is because I made use of automation to make them sound realistic. And the effects for the strings, I added a API 550A stereo, which is a EQ plugin from Waves. I then added a good Hertz Wow Control 3. I then added another EQ to shape the sound even more. And for the harp, I added Fruity Delay 2. And for the next string, it was the same chain as the first string. I then used the same strings to create a higher octave, and I used the first string as well as a Sonatina first violin for this section, and this is how it sounds like. And if I can give you one tip, is to make variation in your strings so that they sound more realistic and sound live. I then added another bunch of strings, which is I added a viola from Sonatina Orchestra. I also added a spiccato string from X-Band. I then also added a tenor horn, which is from a plugin called Sonatina Orchestra, as well as a viola from Sonatina Orchestra, and this is how they sound like. And for the effects, for the Sonatina violin, I didn't do much, meaning I did nothing to it. And for the tenor plugin, I also didn't do much here. Let me see the other plugins. I just added Pro Q3 for the violas. And for the B section, I added a viola, staccato, as well as a piano, and they both sound like this. And for this part, it's still the same chord progression. The only difference is that now I'm playing them in shorter notes instead of playing them as longer notes. I then added a crash. So the crash sounds like this. I then added an oboe and strings, and for the effects I added Pro Q3 to shape the sound, as well as Valhalla vintage verb. I then also added a bass from a stock plugin called Morphine, and this is how it sounds like. I then added a last string, which I call a string pad, and this is how it sounds like. And for the string pad, the effects I added was the Pro Q as well as a Valhalla vintage verb. And then for the master effects, I added an SSL G channel stereo to add compression to the overall sample. I also added a Pro Q3 to shape the sound. Even furthermore, I added a limiter to add saturation to the plugin, to the sample. I then added a Fruity Soft clipper to prevent the sample from going above 0 dBs. And with that said, let me play you the final sample, and the final sample sounds like this. And yeah, thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like, subscribe and share this video if you enjoyed it. And please support me by going to my description and clicking on the link that says lunch and dinner, because that's my new sample pack that is out right now, and it's completely free as well as royalty free. And thank you very much. Oh, another tip if I can give you for making samples is that you must create space between your samples, and by space I mean you must pan your sounds so that everything doesn't always stay on the center of the stereo field. So pan your sounds so that they sound open and more realistic. Thank you again. I'll see you again next week.